Blackthorn Manor stood tall and imposing, old stone covered in ivy. Gargoyles looked down from the roof. The whispers of centuries seemed to come from its very walls. Every stone, every shadow held secrets. A darkness hung in the air, the weight of ages. The manor seemed to breathe history, sadness, and a chilling loneliness. The estate stretched out, wild woods next to perfectly kept gardens. It was a reminder of forgotten greatness. A family's rise and fall marked on the land. Blackthorn Manor was more than a house. It was a legacy, a burden. Edward Montague, the only one left to inherit Blackthorn, born into a life of luxury. Suffocated by what everyone expected of him, he longed for something more, something real. Edward hated the stuffy world of the rich, the endless parties, the conversations that meant nothing. He saw only emptiness. His inheritance felt like a prison. The whispers of the past followed him. They spoke of his ancestors, their victories, their wrongdoings. Edward felt the manor watching him, heavy, judging. One night, Edward ran away. He left behind the money, the title. He wanted a simple life, an honest life. He sailed to America, a land of fresh starts. He built a life with his own two hands, found peace in being unknown. He married, had children. Decades went by. Blackthorn became a distant memory, a fading bad dream. He thought he'd outrun his past. Edward was an old man now, his hair white, his face lined with age. One night he woke to a whisper, a name, his name. He sat up in bed, heart racing. He saw a figure, tall, skeletal. Its eyes glowed with a strange light. "Edward," it hissed, the voice like dry leaves rustling in a graveyard. A cold fear gripped him. He was not alone. The figure appeared each night, closer, more threatening. It spoke of Blackthorn, of his family. It spoke of a curse, a darkness that had followed his family for generations. Edward tried to fight back, to deny it. But the shadow's hold grew stronger. It crept into his dreams, his waking hours. It twisted his memories, his sense of who he was. He was changing, becoming something he didn't recognize. He found himself on a ship, going to England. He didn't remember getting on board. He couldn't control his body. The shadow guided him, forced him home. The ship arrived. He walked the streets of his childhood, a stranger in a familiar place. Blackthorn Manor loomed before him, more menacing than ever. He felt a pull, an overwhelming urge to go inside, to take back what was his, to meet his destiny. He was inside the manor, drawn to the center of the darkness. The shadow spoke. It told him the truth. His ancestors, they had made a deal, traded their souls for power and riches, the price eternal suffering, passed down through their family. Edward was the last Montague. He was the curse's final inheritor. He screamed, but no sound came out. Blackthorn Manor stood silent, a monument to greed and despair. Edward was gone, swallowed by the shadows, his soul trapped, bound to the manor forever. He became one with the whispers, the sorrow, the curse. He was the restless heir, the eternal prisoner of Blackthorn Manor, his suffering a warning, a reminder that some legacies are best left forgotten.